Kacey Musgraves, Star-Crossed, album review. Let's chat about it. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here to chat about this latest from Texas-based country megastar, Miss Kacey Musgraves. This is an artist who has done the unthinkable for me, and that is make modern, very pop-influenced country pretty enjoyable for me. I mean, her breakthrough album, Same Trailer, Different Park, I mean, this is, to a T, the very pristine, glossed-up country pop that I hate more than anything in this world, but I could not say no to it, mostly due to Kacey's personality, her lyricism, her storytelling. And honestly, I enjoyed pageant material even more. I mean, come on, Dime Store Cowgirl, Late to the Party, Family is Family, and freaking Biscuits are easily some of the best modern country tunes I've heard. And I don't care how sunny it is, how sweet it is, I don't know what it is, but Golden Hour just makes me feel so good. Which leads me to this new album from Miss Musgraves, and a lot of has happened to her in the last couple of years. She's completely blown up, become a megastar, and also gotten a divorce, which leads us to this album, Star-Crossed, and starts off with its album title track. And right off the bat, I think it's pretty clear this is not the same Kacey Musgraves that left us with Golden Hour. It's bluesy, it's got this riff that just sounds like the middle of the desert. Now, it is no secret, this album is following up her recent divorce, and this track goes very deep into a relationship on the rocks, despite both members trying to save it. And you know what? I actually think this is a pretty cool single. It's intense, it's got some grit to it, it's also got this cinematic vibe to it that I really like. Cherry Blossom is also kind of nice, even though, like most of this album, it is very somber. But my lord, Kacey has this way of bringing together pop and country in a way that I can't say no to. This is no different. I love the strummed instrumentals, and I really like the production as well. And the sentiment behind this chorus, she's just a cherry blossom, and she doesn't want to get blown away. That's sweet. Simple Times is one of the more straightforward tracks here, but man, it works. Just a nice nostalgic jam of Kacey looking back at her teenage years. And yes, it's simple, much like its title, but it's really catchy and just really likable and feel good. And Pound for Pound, I think, Justified's the best track here. It's a very light and airy track, but lyrically and performance-wise, it's just so telling, so gripping, so real. Kacey goes over her divorce here and her emotions and doesn't really know what to feel, but whatever she does feel ends up being justified. I think it's the best track here. And I actually really love Breadwinner too. It's just so bubbly and full of witty lines. Also, the attitude here is really something I needed right now. And lyrically, it's probably one of the tracks here that's most worth a deep dive. I mean, really look into this. Sadly though, while this is still, easily, as far as modern pop country goes, better than most, I can't help but shake the feeling that something is off here, and this is easily one of my least favorite Kacey projects. Good Wife is just not my cup of tea at all. I don't know, I certainly get where this is in the narrative and all. I think it deserves to be on the album, but some of the sunny grooves and the auto-tune vocals are just not my cup of tea at all. If this was a movie, isn't much better. I actually kind of really dig the dreamy beat. That's pretty cool. But outside of that, Kacey's performance, even lyrically, is a little amateurish. I just think she could do so much better. It's just very average, and also the production tricks here are questionable. And camera roll is probably the closest thing to country pop garbage that Kacey's ever touched. And yes, this is a narrative-driven album, I feel like, but this track is so below the bar. And easier said, I feel like, is everything that could have gone wrong with Golden Hour. That album is just so sweet and breezy and light on the ears, and this track is also breezy and easy on the ears, but the songwriting here, my lord. I mean, it's not the worst album I've heard all year. In parts, it's actually pretty great, but I don't know, just something is off about this album and Kacey right now. Angel is just really average. Her heart is in it, and lyrically, my god, this deserves to be on this album. I mean, Kacey here goes deep into what led to the divorce and what she could have done to prevent it, and maybe how she views herself as not as perfect, or maybe part of the problem. Every other aspect of it, though, is pretty average. Hookup scene, on the other hand, is brilliant. This is fantastic. This is almost like pageant material era Kacey. This shows her going deep into the modern hookup scene, dating apps, and all that. It also goes into everything that comes with it, this feeling of emptiness, this lack of a connection. And genuinely, it's one of the most universally emotional tunes here, and a brilliant one. Keep Looking Up, on the other hand, also has a very early Kacey Musgraves feel to it. And while it is a little straightforward, I don't hate it at all. I actually love it. I really love the dusty atmosphere here, and it's so simple. It's so straightforward. It has this timeless message to it that I'm sure Kacey needs to hear these days, and you know what? It just works. Also, What Doesn't Kill Me is pretty great too. Some of Kacey's one-liners here, her lyricism on this track, is some of the best on this entire album. An absolute treat. It also just sounds like it came to her so easily. And I love that chorus of Whatever Doesn't Kill Me, Better Run. I love that. But then we get tracks like There Is a Light, and it's a real letdown. Lyrically, this is such a huge piece to the puzzle, to the narrative of the album, to Kacey Musgraves herself. But what is going on the rest of this track? She's taking now this late album track to take all these instrumental detours and risks. Most of them fall flat on their face. However, I did like that flute, Kacey. But a lot of the crossover elements on the rest of this track just fall flat. And the production and the beat that comes in, I don't know, it just really is too much for me. It kind of gets away the message of this track. And Gracias a la Vida. Okay, I get it. The track, the original track by Violeta Parra, the legacy behind that track, the story of that track, that's worth a deep dive in itself. This cover is just something I expected so much more out of. This album has such a great bass to it, and it sounds like it writes itself. Kacey Musgraves, comes to the table and writes this album after getting a divorce. It sounds like it should be so obvious, and most of the time it is, but there's also a good hunk of this album that is some of Kacey's weakest songwriting since, I don't know, I can't even remember. I feel like she's almost trying too hard. But still, I mean, for modern country, Kacey Musgraves is who she is for a reason. Too much of this album is too good to overlook. I'm feeling like a light 7 on this album, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.